Hello. I did a brochure on child abuse. So, what is child abuse? Child abuse is physical maltreatment or sexual molestation of a child. This can mean many different things. There's many different types of child abuse, such as physical abuse, which means the child's being physically harmed or injured, or also could be in the risk of being harmed or injured. There's also sexual abuse, which means that there is sexual contact, but there could also be non-contact abuse, which means something like pornography. There's also emotional abuse, which means that in a way the child's being put down. That means their self-esteem could be damaged or even their well-being. There's also medical abuse, which means there's being false information told about an illness in a child. And then there's also neglect, which means that the child's needs are not being met. This could mean basic needs like shelter, food, water. This could also mean things such as medical attention, going to the dentist, things like that. So some warning signs of these would be withdrawing from their friends, or even performance in school going down, such as if a child is very outgoing in class, answers a bunch of questions, and then they are all of a sudden reserved and acting not like themselves. This could also mean depression or anxiety. There could also be sleeping problems. They could be trying to hurt themselves or take their own lives. This could also mean rebellious behavior. So they're showing out. They're doing things that they would not normally do. It's very odd of them to do that. And those are the warning signs of child abuse. There are many myths told about child abuse. And I just picked some of the ones that I thought were more common, or ones I hear more at least. So some of those are that children are abused by creepy strangers, which is not true, because most of the time when a child is abused, it's usually by someone they know or are related to. Also, children usually tell someone if they're abused. This is also not true, because a lot of children are scared that that whoever they're telling won't believe them, or anyone will believe them, or maybe they're just scared of what will happen to them. Also, most children lie, which is not true. A lot of children tell the truth. Usually there's not, in my opinion, I don't really think there's ever really a reason for a child to lie, especially about a situation like this. There's also only men sexually abuse children, which is also not true. And there will always be medical evidence. There's many types of abuse, and abuse like emotional abuse, or sometimes medical abuse, or even neglect. You may not see evidence of that. You may see evidence of physical and sexual abuse, but you could also not. Ways to seek help for this in our jurisdiction. There is the North Carolina DPS, and we have the number over here. And then there's the national hotline, and then there's the health department you can go to. And I have the number and the address written down here. And here's the back. I chose this picture of Dave. This is Dave from the book. I chose this picture because, I don't know, when I was first looking through them, I wasn't sure if I needed to print out a picture first of all, or if I was supposed to draw one. But I chose this picture because when I first saw it, it made me think of how innocent he is, looking at him as a child, as a baby. First as a baby, when nothing's really happening to him, I don't believe. And then seeing how he looked after, it was very shocking to me. But anyway, so I also wrote down some mock interview questions that I had, and like if I could have an interview with him. And one of my most questions was about the fact that most people, including myself, we don't really remember much about our childhood, or much about like what happens in our childhood at least. And I was wondering if, like, in his situation, if with what happened to him, it completely is opposite for him. Like, he remembers everything because of how traumatic it was. But I guess, like, I was wondering if that trauma had an impact on him remembering in a way, if that makes sense. And then I also have some questions about how he kept going, how hard it was, really. I am not a very strong person. I don't think so anyway. I mean, maybe in some ways, but I don't think I'm strong enough to go through this. I guess you really never know until you're in that situation, but I really don't believe that I am strong enough to go through this. It was very admiring how he kept pushing through and kept going and kept just thinking about ways to help himself, really. And then I was also wondering if, lastly, if after he did get out, when he did get free, if he ever found anything out about his siblings, like when he left, was another sibling like put in his place, or did another sibling have to go through that, or all of them? That's what I was also wondering. But yeah, this is my brochure. Thank you.